Well, much has been written about the potential negative effects of technology on our cognitive development, with the term digital dementia coined in 2012, and that describes the effects of our over-reliance on devices.
Now, new research has found that using our phones and computers may actually benefit our brains as we age. And for more, we are joined by leading authority on improving brain function. We all need some of this, Dr. Helena Popovic. Good morning to you, or good evening. You're in Florida. Helena, what does this new research actually describe?
Well, data collected from more than 400,000 adults, that's nearly 500,000 people, with an average age of 68, found that the more they use digital technology, the lower their risk of cognitive impairment and the slower their rate of cognitive decline. And specifically, technology was linked with 58% less likelihood of problems with memory, language skills and attention. And in those who did experience a reduction in thinking skills, the decline was 26% slower than in people who didn't use much technology. And the potential explanations for the brain benefits are, if you haven't grown up with computers and smartphones and internet services, it's a huge learning curve. And the very fact that you find it harder to work out how to use new software is giving your brain a workout, which protects you from mental decline. And for most older people, computers are much more challenging than crosswords. And because digital technology is constantly changing, you have to keep learning and adapting, and it's very cognitively stimulating. And also, technology helps older people stay in touch with distant family and friends. So it reduces loneliness, and loneliness doubles the risk of dementia.
Yeah, that connection piece is a really interesting one, because it is how we connect these days, so it can really help. It's sort of the opposite, this research, of what we're being told, with that technology giving us brain rot. So does that mean that concept is now redundant, or is it specifically for a certain cohort, a certain age of people, where it's a new skill set?
Yeah, no, digital dementia is not entirely redundant. It's a case of technology being a great servant but a terrible master. And it was proposed in 2012 by German neuroscientist Manfred Spitzer. And he was concerned about the increase in passive screen time, i.e. mindless scrolling, the fact that we're offloading mental tasks to technology. We no longer memorise phone numbers or use a street directory, so we're not using navigational skills. And technology has reduced younger people's attention span and made us all more distractible. And in younger people, these are valid concerns. So it depends on how you use digital technology. Employ it strategically and you'll boost your brain. Outsource your life to it and you'll lose a lot of skills, especially social ones.
Yeah, it's a real thin edge of the wedge, technology in that way, isn't it?
Hey, run us through this one though. New research has found that empathy may actually improve with dementia.
Yes, in Alzheimer's particularly, the most common form of dementia, they retain the ability to empathise. In fact, they scored higher in their capacity for emotional mirroring and feeling compassion than people who had mild cognitive impairment, which is a condition that may or may not progress to Alzheimer's. Also, a person with Alzheimer's will often forget what happened earlier in the day, but they'll remember how they felt. They'll know whether it was a pleasant or unpleasant experience. And something for carers to remember is that facts fray, but feelings stay. And the upside of this is empathy means a person can still have meaningful connections with others. And it's important to focus on whatever brings the person with Alzheimer's joy, not to argue over unimportant issues, because the downside is that people with Alzheimer's have heightened feelings of anxiety and discomfort with other people in distress. So the key words when caring for a person with dementia: keep them safe and bring them joy. And if you want to know all the different ways to boost your brain and defy dementia, read my latest book, Can Adventure Prevent Dementia?
Got the plug in.
Good
Lovely.
plug, but so important, your message at the end of the day. It has touched my family with many
so
members.
Many families,
and just knowing that piece around empathy, I mean, that is
keep
a
them
lovely
safe
way
and keep the joy
to frame it. Thank you so much for your insights this morning, Helena. We appreciate it.